Good morning, everybody. Welcome back from your Thanksgiving break. I am JJW. This is rumble.com/JJW. We talk about news, politics, culture, pop culture, just whatever's interesting in the news that makes us giggle or makes us upset or I don't know, just makes us whatever we find moving or important. Sometimes things that are important stories, sometimes silly stories, but mostly just whatever is interesting to me, to my friend Deacon, who's gonna be here. He says he's running late. I have my new sock on my microphone. I'm getting ready for Christmas. I've got my lights up, so we got Christmas lights. We are so excited. I love Christmas season. I hate getting presents, and I don't really love giving presents, but I do love Christmas and the songs and all the fun. So for the next month or so, I'll probably be just whistling or singing Christmas songs day in and day out. So last week last week was Thanksgiving. So, in America, I guess some people that watch the show that are not in the US, but, last week was Thanksgiving. I was up at my in-laws, staying up there, visited, my extended family in, North Texas. And, I got sick. I got sick. We planned to do shows the entire week, but the room I was in was getting hot, and I wasn't able to keep my PC running enough, and it just overheated, and it just I don't know what happened. So the Thanksgiving show I had to yank and cut. So you're not going to find that out there if you weren't watching. And then Friday, I didn't do a show on Friday, and then Saturday, and then I got sick, Thursday night, I was up all night. Probably was up about 11 times. So didn't that wasn't good. And by Saturday, I was feeling okay. Was feeling okay. And I drove my family home on Friday afternoon. I was feeling all right. Saturday, I was feeling okay. But then by the time I went to bed, my heart rate was running at close to 102. And that's abnormally high for me. And I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling good at all. I don't like the way it feels when my heart is beating that fast. And I was starting to feel some like swelling in my neck, in my jaws, and there was a couple of other symptoms. I wasn't able to, Saturday night I wasn't able to sleep, and there were enough symptoms, and my heart would not stop racing over 100. So I went to bed, it was going at 102, and I woke up and it was at 102, and it was just steady pegging high. So Sunday morning, I get up and I tell my wife that I think my lower back is hurting. Maybe it might be my kidneys or something like that. I don't know what I'm talking about. And my wife is like, okay, we're going to the ER now. So we go to the ER Sunday morning. And I stumble into the ER and give them all my information. They take me back to a bed and they start running tests. They do like an IV and they stick it in my hand and they run tests. They pull blood and then they give me like a bag of fluids and they do like what did they do? They did a blood test and they did a swab from my mouth and they did a nasal swab. One of those was like a viral table. So they were finding out whether or not I had, I guess, COVID-19. I didn't have COVID-19 or COVID anything or whatever. Didn't have COVID. Turns out I had strep, and strep, and strep made my heart race. And I guess it's like an infection or something. I thought strep throat was always just like, oh, your throat's real sore. Well, for me, it was my throat sore, and my glands are swollen up, and my jaw was swollen up, and my heart was racing. And that really concerned me because about 3 or 4 years ago, I had a different episode where I got some sort of an infection on my heart, one of my valves of my heart, and similarly, that made my heart hurt. And I don't remember if it made my heart race or not. It made my heart hurt, and so I went in, and they were like, "You're over 40, heart hurts. You're going to the hospital, buddy." And then I was. Anyway, so it really scared me. It turned out that wasn't just an infection or infected one of my valves of my heart. But anytime I get anything like that now, I'm just very sensitive because, like, I don't want to be a guy that has a heart attack, and I don't want to be a guy that like falls over dead as a doornail. So I had strep, and it was making my heart race, and I didn't know it could do that. I didn't know it could do that. So they're like, "Well, we can put you on a 10-day antibiotic thing, or we can just give you a shot." And I was like, "Put the shot in wherever you got to put it in right now. Give me the shot." Because I know the shot fixes strep like that. And as you can see, I am fairly chipper, and I'm doing good. I got the shot yesterday morning, right in the tuchus, and within 4 or 5 hours, I was already starting to see my um, heart rate drop from high 90s and 80s down to where it belongs, down into the 60s and 70s. And right now, probably just because I'm a little animated, my heart's up at 70, but I was down at 50, down 50s and 60s, just like I'm supposed to be at night. So, doctor visit, that was a good one. So I was at the ER yesterday, and I'm alive to tell the tale. I don't know what strep can do for you untreated, but I was not going to deal with having an elevated heart rate for an entire day. I did kind of crash and have a bunch. I slept a bunch yesterday, more than I could imagine I normally would sleep. And at one point, I did kind of have a fever break of some kind and sweat through a shirt. But after that, I was like totally fine. The biggest downside for the last 2 or 3 days, is that I haven't been able to see my kids. They're in the house, but my wife kept us separated, so they were not. I haven't been allowed to talk to my kids. Haven't been able to hug my kids. Haven't been able to see them at all. So I'm like pretty sad about that.
We got a bot.
It's in.
We got a bot in one of our damn channels.
Oh, cool. Hang on, let me get rid of it. Which one? Oh, a dating website. Fantastic.
I was
Okay,
sitting here listening to you, and I saw it pop up.
user's blocked. Oh, good morning. Jeremy's here.
Yeah, I was reading what Jeremy had to say, and then I was. It was like, "Do you?"
Hey, Brian's here. Welcome, Brian. Brian's here on Rumble, our preferred platform, and we got my brother on YouTube.
I don't see Rumble going, so maybe it's off YouTube.
Oh, maybe I made Jeremy a moderator. I don't know. Maybe if I haven't made him a moderator, I'll make him a moderator.
Yeah, that's a good.
Because he's always in there. So I was just telling about my hospital visit. Deacon, I started watching since I was laid up in bed and was in and out of consciousness. I started watching Titans from DC. Have you ever seen Titans?
No, I don't guess I've ever heard of it. Like the Teen Titans type?
No, not the cartoon, which is also pretty great. Titans is like this live action. I don't know. It's a live action show like Doom Patrol. Have you ever seen the Doom Patrol clips or anything? Oh, it's pretty great. Pretty great. It's on HBO, and I don't know if it ever ran on TV or anything, but it's on their HBO Max channel. So pretty awesome, pretty fun. I'm about like 7 episodes deep into Titans right now. So fantastic. We'll probably talk about it. It turns out that it ran in 2018, and the fourth episode of Titans was a backdoor pilot for Doom Patrol, which is also a crazy psychedelic fantastic show. And they ran this kind of episode as a pilot for Doom Patrol, and then the next year in 2019 they picked up Doom Patrol as a regular series, and they recast the Chief Niles Calder, and I think they recast the physical body of Larry, but Doom Patrol went on to be like a smashing hit, and I guess Titans is back for a fourth season currently. So I know I don't think you have HBO. So if you ever get HBO as a trial or something like that, that is one definitely to check out. I think they're doing like a $2 for 3 months, $2 a month for 3 months Black Friday special right now. So anyway, I just thought it was like it's pretty great. I thought I would mention that. So I'm about to.
I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, I popped in and I was just sitting there listening to
Pardon
you.
me.
Bless you. I was sitting there listening to you
Pardon.
tell all your crap. So I'm glad you're feeling.
I'm alive.
Pop in. Yeah, I wasn't feeling so hot this morning because I had ate some leftovers from Thanksgiving that were still in the refrigerator, and I ate them for supper last night. And I told Ashley, I was like, oh, I don't want to let this corn go to waste because it was like fresh corn that had been frozen, and Dad had used it. So I ate it, and then I threw all of it up this morning. Yay!
But it wasn't because of your medicine, right? Because you're taking your medicine.
My medicine. It was just
okay. So it was just bad corn. Okay. Jeremy doesn't think Titans is so great. Well, I'm watching the first season, and Titans is pretty. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a great deal of fun. It's not super woke or anything like that. It's and it's got a pretty. Oh yeah, Jeremy was saying Titans isn't so great. I think it's pretty great. I think I'm having a good time watching that. So
I don't know what it is. Is it a comic book from DC?
Yeah. It's based on the Teen Titans character. So it's got Dick Grayson, Dick Grayson Robin, and it has Starfire, and it has Raven. I can't remember her name.
I know her from Teen Titans. This is the only.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched that cartoon because it was cute. I mean, it was funny. The cartoon.
Oh yeah, no, that was a great cartoon.
Yeah, great little cartoon, man. It was
that back in the 90s? That was like on Cartoon Network.
I think it was maybe 90s, 2000s.
It might have been early 2000s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great, and it has Beast Boy, and they didn't even wait till like season 2 or anything to have 2 Robins on the show. So they had a Robin that is Dick Grayson, who I guess is sooner or later going to become Nightwing, and then they also had like in the episode 6 or 7 or something like that, they have a Jason Todd Robin shows up, and so they had 2 Robins in the first season. So I think it's been pretty great first season. And Manuel says that third season is dope. So I'm into it. All
right. I'm not a big DC person, but I don't write them off completely. I just didn't grow up. You know this, but for people, I grew up as a Marvel kid. I grew up reading X-Men, mainly X-Men.
X-Men was always good, especially when Claremont was on the Claremont was writing. When Claremont was writing, X-Men was just amazing.
Now X-Men's boring.
Jeremy's a wrench. Jeremy's a moderator on the YouTube channel, so he can bump bad guys. Good job, Jeremy. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just had to go over there and double check.
I've been posting stories in our little the ones for Thanksgiving still.
Okay.
So there was some that I posted in there for Thanksgiving or last night. Oh, you still did too.
Yeah, I didn't make a new thing. So we'll pull them out of there. My only real story that I want to talk about is Nina Jankowicz. Do you know who Nina Jankowicz is?
I see that now.
Yeah, that's my big story. So Nina Jankowicz was tasked to lead the government disinformation board about 6 months ago. And
wait a minute, AJ. Explain to me, who has no idea what disinformation is. You know, what is disinformation, and why do we need a czar of disinformation?
Well, apparently the government thinks it's bad if you okay, so if you have an internet and people can tell things on the internet, some of those things are not true.
Like the
So
wide,
the
wide
good
world of webs?
yeah, yeah, on the internet. It's like shocking and you're like, why would they do such a thing? If people are allowed to talk, some people are going to be inclined to like lie.
Really? People
Oh,
lie?
hey, Deacon. Brian wants to know about your weekend. He said, "Don't hog the mic, Jake." Jason. How was? I'm sorry. How are you feeling? And how was your weekend? How was your
Well
Thanksgiving?
well, thank you for asking. That makes me feel our weekend was good. We had, Ashley asked me earlier last week, she was like, "Do you care if we have a non-traditional Thanksgiving?" I'm like, "Nope, that's fine. What do you wanna eat? Steaks? Okay." Who wants to eat turkey and ham 15 times in a row? I've always said that. You go to 5 Thanksgivings, you eat turkey and ham 5 times. Quite Dad used to fix fish on Thanksgiving Day. So anyway, we had non-traditional Thanksgiving with steak and baked potato and stuff like that. And we invited Ashley's mom over and Kendra's boyfriend because he's a nice kid and we're trying to get to know him a little better. And I'm trying not to be cleaning the gun dad. He's a good kid.
Okay.
So he treats Kendra well. That's the only thing that I care about. He treats her like she should be treated, and that's good. So anyway, we had that, and with that, it was kind of weird. Thanksgiving Day, we went to Dad's, had some family stuff, and then the weekend was good because the kids got all ushered off to other parents' houses. So we had the moons and stars aligned, and Ashley and I had 2 days by ourselves. It was great. We,
Yeah.
uh, we actually, Saturday, we had like a date day
Yeah.
is what it ended up being. I mean, that's not what it started off as. It started off as let's have a date breakfast. And so we were gonna get up early Saturday morning, go to a restaurant, eat some breakfast.
Yeah. It was
And,
like, you guys watch the kids, right? We'll be right
yeah.
back. And
Yeah.
then later that evening.
Yeah, and we were. She was like, "Do you wanna go eat at this there's a fancy Italian restaurant in the next town over," and she's like, "You wanna go eat there?" And I'm like, "Sure." She knows I don't like that kinda shit. And she go, "'Cause I'm a curmudgeon. I'm a curmudgeon. I'm an old man curmudgeon. I've turned into this." Uh, so she knew that I always kinda put up a fight. "I don't wanna go anywhere." And so she asked me, and I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be a better husband guy, man, about this, about not giving any grief. And when she asks, not even showing it in my attitude. And when she was
Uh-huh.
like, "Do you want to go eat at this Italian restaurant?" I tried to, be like, "Yeah, that's a great idea." Not kind of like a, "Yeah, that's all right." Or, "Yeah, that sounds good." I wanted her to be like, to think, "Oh, he really wants to go," because I'm
Uh-huh.
tired of being that guy. I don't wanna be that dad and that guy that's always, "I guess, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, that's fine." I don't really sound like I wanna go when I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that sounds good." But if I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds good," so I tried to do that, and I think that changed her attitude when I did that, to be
I think some
honest.
of that comes from like just being mentally thinking about other things and being somewhere else. And it's not like you don't really want to go. It's like I wasn't even
Right.
thinking about what
Right,
Italian.
I'm
What are
like,
you
"Oh,
talking
I've
about?
gotta drive over here and this much time and this, and it's gonna cost $150 and So I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I think that changed her whole attitude. And we had a really nice little I didn't like the food, but whatever. I thought the food was way overpriced for what it was. I could get some toasted raviolis from the Walmart freezer section. It tastes just like 'em. So yeah, it was pretty good. So thank you for asking. I know I like to chase rabbits when I tell stories, but we had a nice little date weekend.
So
It's good
how long were
for
you out? Were you able to go out and just and be and just hang out with with your
uh,
girl?
well, we went to dinner and then, as old people do, we went to Walmart and
Yeah. Okay.
the Walmart in that town because it's different and it was Saturday, so we were like, let's look for Black Friday. We were looking for like little piddly stuff for the kids. We were just kind of
Yeah.
looking around for kid stuff, you know, it's
Yeah.
this, we'll get them this, and we got a video game and stuff like that. So we spent the whole day. When we weren't out, we sat in the house and we watched TV, and we watched a TV show and stuff together. Maybe took a nap there, but it's good to have days like that. Me and her desperately needed a day like that because we don't spend time together, and when we don't get much time to spend together. There were months there where it seemed like all that Ashley and I would see of each other is like, oh, it's 8:30. I love you. I'm going to bed, and that's all we would see, you know. So
Okay. The guys are still over there talking about Titans on chat right
oh, that's cool.
there.
Keep talking about Titans. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So there, Jeremy says he told me about Titans years ago and I didn't remember. And uh, uh, Manuel says he liked the Star Girl. I don't know if he means Star Girl or Starfire because Starfire's in the show that I've seen. But if Star Girl shows up, she shows up
I'll
later.
be right back.
There was a Star Girl show over on CW, and it was kind of fun. I only watched a few episodes of it. It was kind of fun. A little had a good like dad daughter feel to it or whatever. And but I didn't hang in with it. I think it had a Star Sapphire. I'm talking about Star Sapphire. So yeah. Anyway, so I guess Star Girl is not on it. Do good. Good morning. All Walmarts are alike. I don't know. I try. I don't go into Walmart if I can help it to save my life, but I occasionally have to go in there, and then I don't know where anything is. So then I'm like, I have to look up at all the signs. I'm wandering around looking at all the signs, trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here I want to talk about. Okay, before we get to the disinformation czar, and I do want to talk about her. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that people pack in their luggage when they're traveling. This was posted on November 22nd, so just a couple days before Thanksgiving. Where's my button? Got to find the button. Here it is. Here it is. So here on New York Post, which is
This I
legit
saw
news.
this. What?
TSA finds a
this
cat in checked baggage.
What
Cat
the
in checked
hell?
baggage. And I'm like, what? Okay, so apparently I'm gonna go. When you get a kind of a story like this, you have to go with like, well, like there's two things, right? It could be like a person pack a cat, or you have to think just a little longer and think, did a cat sneak into a bag of luggage?
Right.
And you don't know what happened, but you have to give the most generous explanation, at least a chance. So the story says a sneaky feel, and you can see like there's a photo, and I don't know if I play that. Let me play this clip a little bit. Nope, don't want the audio. So there's some fur sticking out of the bag, and this cat was discovered at JFK Airport on Tuesday morning after the TSA spotted some orange hair poking out of the zipper. And here, I'll go down to these pictures of the scans. So a sneaky feline tried to have a Thanksgiving holiday. A spokesperson for TSA told the Post that the traveler was not aware he had a cat in his luggage.
Bullshit.
So at least that's
bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bull crap.
The agent was shocked by the furry discovery, which had been checked in and x-rayed. The traveler said the cat belonged to someone else at his house. In a picture accompanying the tweet, of tufts of fur were poking out of the suitcase. So I'm not even sure if this is obviously a fake photo.
That's a fake photo.
But here is that they saw the fur sticking out of the bag, and they're like,
that's
what's
probably
that?
set up too.
You think so? But look at this one. This kind of looks real. So but maybe it's not. But this is like a cat in a suitcase with its, I guess its fur would be sticking out, right? No, it wouldn't be there. This can't be. This has got to be fake also. But look what else they have in this suitcase. There's like another bottle, bunch of bottles. This person
see, that's fake.
Yeah, I think this is a fake photo too. Yeah.
Why
So this looks
so
fake.
as a cat
Oh,
owner
maybe
and a
maybe there's
cat
the zipper right there.
whisperer,
Maybe that's real.
I have several cats, and they can get everywhere, and you don't know. There was one particular time where Ashley and I were looking for a kitten. It was a I call it a kitten, they're younger cats, and we couldn't find one. This was years ago. And, we were looking everywhere, and we opened up the refrigerator, and there was the cat chilling in the refrigerator, just sitting there. They get cat owners know they can get everywhere, so to crawl into a suitcase and whatnot, but like that picture, you're going to see a cat in a suitcase like that that looks like a bunch of junk. There's no clothes or there's no nothing in there. But if there were clothing and whatnot in there, I can see the cat getting in there and sitting down, maybe even covering itself up, getting underneath something so that you couldn't see it.
Well,
But
there must
once you
be
picked
clothes
up,
or something in here. There must be like clothes or something that's getting totally X-rayed because it's like it's obviously like crouched on something. I'm changing my mind. I'm thinking, look, the zipper pieces look like they're right there next to the handle, and then there's the handle and there's the zipper pieces. So maybe it's a real photo.
I don't know,
So,
man, that's weird.
but here's the other thing. All of these bottles, and it looks like bottle caps. Maybe that explains why the owner didn't know that the cat was in there because
This
he
is
was
full of
drunk
junk.
and packed. He
Yeah,
was
or he's
drunk and he's
drunk.
packing his luggage. Get in there, cat.
I don't know. I
Anyway,
would just think carrying a
but
suitcase around with a full-grown cat inside of it, and when the cat moves, you're going to feel it. You're going to know that there's something alive in that suitcase. I would at least. I would think that I would at least, but what the hell do I know? And the dude's got stickers all over the suitcase, so
yeah, he
it's not.
travels a lot,
Yeah,
or she.
this is set up. This cat was put in there on
You think
purpose.
a cat was stuck in there?
Oh, I
I
didn't
mean,
know.
look
It's
how
my roommate,
busted.
it's a cat.
These zippers are like totally busted off.
Yeah,
There was no way he just grabbed the thing and was like zip zip super fast and didn't even see what was in it. It
right.
was more like he had to like struggle and like use pliers or something to get this to
Hey,
get this super
there's
close.
2 of my favorite people over on the side right there too, Whoopi Goldberg and Joy
Oh,
Behar. I love those
for
2
sure.
women with
Yeah, they're
all of my
great.
heart. I wish
Yeah.
nothing but the best for both of them.
Oh, let me just
Let's
get
go.
that off screen before you go hate mad.
Where's that little fire emoji at?
Okay. All right. So this important news came out last week, Deacon,
Mhm,
that is so important.
mhm.
The
I gotta talk for just a second, but I'm
Yeah,
still
okay,
go ahead.
okay. So, believe it or not, people on the internet will lie to you. I'm pretty sure that I have lied to you at some point, or at least misrepresented the truth, or maybe said something that was wrong. Sometimes on purpose, for nefarious means, sometimes as a joke, and sometimes as an accident. So when you're on the internet, boys and girls, when you're on the internet, you should just assume that nothing's real. Everything is fake, and you should just go about that generally in life. You should not trust anybody. You should for anything security matter related, anything information related, anything that upon which you make a decision, unless you can verify the information or give or find a corroborating evidence of something that you can trust. And I'm not saying trust the newspaper because they will lie to you too. So you have to be careful about trusting anybody. You have to definitely be double, triple careful about trusting anything on the internet. People will lie to you. Okay, that's just a fact of life. You just have to assume that. Now, many times people will try to be honest, and you have to develop a reputation around people. So you go to people, you hear a story, it turns out to be true. You hear a story, it turns out to be true. Then you can learn to give this person some credibility, some trust. But generally, especially first time sources that you ever hear from, you should always assume, well, maybe they're wrong, or maybe they're lying, or maybe they have some other means, or some other ends, or whatever. So people will lie. That's true. They will lie, and people will lie for reasons to manipulate you, even though you maybe don't understand or know what those reasons are. Some people will have reasons. So the government, in its infinite wisdom, decided to emulate decided to take 1984 and use this as a training manual to create a Ministry of Truth in the middle of last year. So this ran for like a couple of months. The government, the White House, as a Department of Homeland Security branch of the government, decided to spin up a government disinformation board, and it was basically the government's attempt. The government, who you should definitely not believe. The government was going to try to tell you what is true and what is not true on the internet. They were going to say, this stuff is true, this stuff is not true. So to head up this DHS office program out of the DHS, the Biden administration spun up this department, this disinformation government board, and they hired Nina Jankowicz, a would-be information czar. Let's see. Here is our would-be information czar. They hired this woman.
Is that a? Never mind.
Oh, you may not remember her from this government photo. I'll give you something that maybe you will remember her from in a minute.
She is a very handsome
Go ahead.
woman.
Oh,
she's a very handsome woman.
Well, you know what they say, politics is for ugly people. I don't know if they say that, but oh boy.
Is that a JJW quote?
I don't know. It's a mangled joke of some kind. It started out as somebody else's joke that was probably better, but God, she's ugly. Tell me this isn't the face of somebody that's sinister. Look at these eyes.
I admit I'm on radio for a reason. I have a face for radio. I'm missing, I got a tooth over here, and
this is a predator face.
She's got yeah. I mean, it looks like you take away the it looks like a guy.
Oh,
it looks like a guy.
It definitely. Well, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that.
The cheeks and the eyes and the brow. The brow looks like a man's brow. That looks like a man's brow. And if she probably stuck her neck out, you'd probably see a huge Adam's apple.
Right. That wouldn't be the first trans person that we have in our.
I guess that's true. I forget. That's true. We have
our what is it? Our Surgeon General is a dude in a dress. All right.
Yeah, that's right. The bald guy.
Yeah. Here, let me see if I can remind you who Nina Jankowicz was.
No.
You may have seen this clip on YouTube some months ago. Here we go. Here's a little audio clip for Deacon's remembrances.
Please tell me what to do. Who do I fuck to be famous?
Earmuffs, lady. There's kids watching. This is not a kid show.
What I can tell you is that it sounds like the objective of the board is to prevent
Peppermint Patsy.
Yeah.
There we go. Uh-oh.
It's really quite ferocious.
There we go.
It's to take some lies and make them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious. It's how you hide a little lie.
That's the same person in that photo.
That is the disinformation czar. She put out a Mary Poppins
photo.
It's how you hide a little lie.
She recorded this and put it on TikTok or YouTube.
The little lie.
Yeah. I don't know why it's so stuttery. Hopefully our show is not equally stuttery. I think you got enough of that.
Well, that's a terrible photo then, because that didn't do her justice. That's a terrible photo.
Let's see.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, there's not any. Here's the thing. For this woman, there are no good photos. So that story came from, I think, a tweet, but here is the original tweet. Okay, so let me just set the stage here. That woman, who I think graduated from Harvard or something like that with a bullshit degree, was appointed by the government to be the head of the government disinformation board, and then people on the right and people in the middle that were like, you can't fucking tell us what's true. Fuck you, government. Okay, that's my one. I'm sorry. That's the one. You can't tell us what's true. This is obviously a Ministry of Truth from
Jeez,
1984. Sorry, I got upset for a second. You shut this crap down. Within like weeks of this coming out and her posting this video and some other stuff trying to say, oh, we want to be able to like tag information that's true and not true, and everybody and the rest of us were like, go to hell. We don't want this. The Biden administration had to walk it back and run and basically dismantle the government disinformation board, and I think she resigned from it or whatever. And let's pull this up. Now that she's not the U.S. government information czar or whatever, Nina Jankowicz, who sang Mary Poppins on TikTok and was going to be in charge of monitoring disinformation and censoring U.S. citizens, is now registered as a foreign agent. This is the woman's photo from her TikTok page, the same channel where she did that Mary Poppins video. And this is her registration form for the United States government, registering as an active employee for the United Kingdom government. Okay. So this is from November 18th. She filed this paperwork. Ms. Nina Jankowicz in Arlington, Virginia, is an employee of the Center of Information Resilience from the United Kingdom at some UK house or whatever, which is a foreign organization and a foreign corporation. So she now works for some company in England.
Well,
she works in DC.
It sounds like she had to have an address in England to work for this company.
No, that's the address of the company.
Oh.
She works in DC on behalf of the Center of Information Resilience, where she now goes to lobbyists, politicians, other people at the centers of power, and basically advocates for information resilience. So some foreign government corporation. So
she advocates for information resilience.
Yeah.
Those
she's
two
advocating
words.
to censor us.
What do those two words really mean? Information resilience.
Yeah. So here's a couple of responses.
People lobbying for that, really?
No, you don't need it at all.
For information resilience.
The British government launders U.S. disinformation and propaganda into the United States to circumvent U.S. laws against domestic propaganda. It's been that way for decades.
I started to say this is this way for a couple hundred years now. How old is America?
Yeah, isn't this crazy?
This is not anything new. That stuff like this has actually been going on for thousands of years with governments and people in power and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Wow, there's Josh Steinman. I see Josh Stein. I follow Josh Steinman's tweets, so he responded to this story a lot. Somebody tagged him to alert him of this story, and then he had some sad eyes, whatever. Josh Steinman is a very interesting guy. If you guys want to follow people on Twitter, which is, hey man, go back to Twitter. Twitter's great. Elon took over. Handcuffs are off. Everybody that was banned is free. That's starting today, starting this week. Josh Steinman at Josh Steinman is he's at this Galvin Nick Co or whatever, but his handle is Josh Steinman. He is a former NSC staffer, and he's kind of like an intelligence dude, and he's got very, very interesting posts about government stuff. So anyway. Pardon me. So Miss Nina Jankowicz couldn't get the Ministry of Truth to be formed by the United States government. So now she's working for the UK government to petition lobbyists and politicians and such here in the United States. So just in case you ever thought that there were no nefarious actors in our government, they're right there. And they're literally apparently dressed like clowns and putting up shitty YouTube videos. Hey, if the government needs any more clowns on YouTube and shitty videos, you can follow me right here on rumble.com/JJW. Maybe I'll take a different approach if the U.S. government becomes a follower and a subscriber. maybe I'll have a
follow you on
softer
YouTube?
opinion. I'm for sale. JJ is for sale.
Always.
And cheap. Hey Deacon, you like my new microphone sock?
I do. It's very festive.
I'm so ready. Can you see my lights? I got lights.
I see the lights. I looked for the lights in the other room to decorate my CD case behind me.
Yeah, you definitely need to string some lights up back there.
Yeah.
And maybe hang a wreath or something. I don't know. Are you very festive for Christmas? Do you like... You can love Christmas season and not really care about giving gifts or getting presents or anything like that. You're not very festive. You're not very...
I'm not festive. I don't like receiving gifts. I like giving gifts. That's my favorite thing, is to give gifts. And I don't like receiving gifts. I don't know how to act. I don't know how to respond to getting a gift. It's weird. Me and my daughter have had a conversation about this. My older daughter.
I'm definitely with you on that. I don't like getting gifts. You like giving gifts. Do you like doing all the work involved in giving those gifts? So you don't like shopping for gifts. You're just happy to be like, here, and the other person's like, yay.
I don't mind shopping for the gift, but I'm terrible at trying to pick out stuff for people.
Yeah. We're the same right there.
I'm really struggling on Ashley this year, to the point that I just asked her the other day. I'm like, look, I need some help picking out some stuff. Dude. What do you need? What do you want? I'm trying. There's some certain things that I try to pay attention to what she needs and what she wants. But Ashley's one of those people, and I'm one of those people that if we need it, we go get it. It's not like...
Okay. So I'm surprised that it's taking you this long. So for years I've been like this. I'm like, look, I can buy you. Do you want me buying you pants? No, you don't want me buying you pants.
Told
you don't
her.
want me buying you shoes.
Clothes,
you don't want me buying you socks.
You don't
really like to wear jewelry all that much. You wear the same jewelry since we've been dating.
I know, and that's why I told her about I was like, I wanted to get you a pair of earrings, but what the hell do I know about earrings? And she was like, take Kendra. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. I could take my daughter.
I've bought my wife earrings a couple of times, and does she wear them? And not that often. Basically what I do for my wife, and not for anybody else, but for my wife, is like, look, you know what you want or you need, and I don't. So let's just go together and you pick it out, and then I'll buy it and wrap it up. And I think it took her a little while to get used to that, because I think she wants the surprise a little bit of not knowing what's in the Christmas tree, but she doesn't want to get stuff that she doesn't want.
Right.
And I'm like, but first of all, our money is entangled. So if I buy anything, you're gonna know. Right. Yeah, it's like,
that's what I always thought. I was like, she's gonna know when I buy something. So I mean, she's gonna be like, why do you take out $70 or something like that? So we always, for our birthday, we did this little thing. It was kind of involuntary, but it worked out really cool, where we wouldn't buy stuff for each other. We would give each other an experience. And most of the time it was concert. So I bought her Garth Brooks tickets, and she got me Metallica tickets, and I got her Michael Bublé tickets, and she got me Red Hot Chili Peppers tickets, cool. And we go with each other. So I've been to Metallica and Tool, but I've also been to Michael Bublé, so it's really cool. That was what we like to do. But for Christmas, I'm terrible at doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not great at it. And I really don't like shopping. I don't like shopping. I don't like shopping. I don't mind wrapping stuff up. You pack a stack of crap up, I'll wrap it up.
I can wrap. I don't mind doing that.
I just I swear, even when I bought gifts for people and wrapped them up, I put their name on it, I give them to them, and I'm like, when it comes like that morning or whenever they open it, I'm like, I have no idea what. I don't know what's in that package any more than you do.
There's certain Christmas traditions that we keep, and there's certain Christmas traditions that we don't keep. And certain Christmas traditions we don't keep have some people look at us like, really? We don't keep a Christmas tree. We don't do a Christmas tree. And we have some people that look at us like, really? You don't do a Christmas tree? No. But we still do like decorations, certain decorations and stuff like that. Yeah, no, I was reading.
Okay.
Some,
Deke, I got a couple of your stories here. Let me pull up. So I don't know exactly what the context is, but I got your story about the Department of Education with Peppermint Patty here. So I'm gonna pull up that one.
I don't remember that one.
It's the one where well, you'll remember it as soon as you see it on screen. Then I don't even want to throw the word out. So here we go. Biden's deputy director of Department of Education claims that democracy, fat phobia are based on white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of your stories?
I think so. I don't remember. I remember I put it up there for some reason, but I don't remember why. If I put it up there for the fat phobia, I don't remember why.
Did I put that? Yeah, you put that. Hey, congratulations, sir, for checking out the Post Millennial. It's a good site.
Oh, I didn't check out the Post Millennial. This was a link from somewhere else. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. It's a good place.
Is it a good site for real?
Yeah, yeah. They're NewsGuard certified at 82 out of 100.
Oh, I don't give a shit about that.
Well, in case there's something in here that is going to get me kicked off of YouTube, they are NewsGuard certified. We're reading the news.
Well, I mean, down with Whitey. White people are the problem with everything that has gone on with the world since the beginning of time.
You might say that, but I'm going to say people are the problem.
No, it's white people, JJ. You're wrong.
Think so?
Yeah, it's completely just white people.
I don't really believe in white people.
It's white people. Everybody else is okay, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to claim my 132nd Cherokee or whatever it is. Can I do that?
You can.
I got an ancestor that's got an ancestor that was Indian or something.
They were an Indian, I think. I don't remember. Did I get
U.S. Department of
money or something? Did I get a token?
Hey, one of these days we should get our DNA checked, Deacon. Wouldn't it be crazy if you found out that you had some or have you ever done one of those 23andMe things?
I've never done the DNA stuff. We've got some up in the cabinet that are like unopened. Because I was like looking up and I was like, why do we have DNA kits in the cabinet? And Ashley's like, I got a good deal on them, so I bought some. I'm like, oh
my God, you should totally do it.
Well, I had used to do genealogy.
Unless you've committed a crime. If you've committed a crime, then your DNA will be available for the FBI to search, and then you're going to get caught, and then I won't have anybody on my show.
But I don't remember committing a crime, but I did a lot of drugs back in the 90s. No, I used to do a lot of
killer.
I used to do a lot of genealogy, and from what I've gathered in genealogy in my research, and it wasn't just like I went to ancestry.com and that's my genealogy. No, I did a lot of talking to relatives and looking in books and stuff like that. And I found that my great grandmother on my father's side was full-blooded Cherokee, and my great grandparents' parents on my mother's side were full-blooded Cherokee. Now, when you get to great grandparents, you got like 70 of them. You know, you got to think about that. When you get to like 3 greats, you got a lot of great grandparents.
Yeah.
You don't just have 2 or 3. You got like 40 or something like that. So they were full-blooded Cherokee. And when genealogy, when you get to stuff like that, it's a dead end. Usually it's a dead end. You get to somebody's name and that's it. That's it. And if you keep digging, I was lucky enough to know people that knew them, that some of my older relatives remembered them. It's like, oh yeah, your granny so-and-so was dark skinned and dark hair and full blooded. You know, so normally, because the Native Americans didn't normally keep written records, and they were all renamed something, John Smith. You know, here's your new name. Go out.
Okay.
So yeah, I've done some, but I don't know if I want to like if I do my DNA, it's going to come up something crazy. I know it's going to be like, you don't have any Native American blood in you and you're Russian.
Your story of your whole life is a lie.
you're Icelandic and Australian. I'm like, what?
You should do it. My dad got one of these things years ago, and I have his results. And I'm like, well, at least my results are at least half of your results.
Yeah,
and, it's nothing surprising. I'm like European.
Well, my mom's maiden name was Cornwell, and let's all think real quick where that nationality is from for that name.
Right,
that one's not hard to figure out.
Okay, so back over here. So our let me pull this back up. Our U.S. Deputy Director for Department of Education, appointed under Joe Biden, mocked evangelical Christians and claimed democracy was based on white supremacy. We have crazy people working in our government, like crazy people. Oh yeah, and it's not like that's new, but it's like they were like
it's been
literally just appoint Ronald McDonald and let her say whatever she wants, and nobody will even care.
You're exactly right. It's like anymore. They're like, okay, what's the qualifications for this government job? Well, this guy over here has his piercing through the top of his nose.
Yeah,
and he's got rainbow hair. Well, fuck it, he's hired.
You
know, it's not, I don't care about your qualifications.
I don't see any problems. According to Fox News, Christina Emanuel, the deputy director of the Office of Educational Technology, which claims to implement policies of equity to access to technology, posted a divisive commentary on Twitter. Now, anytime you see this word equity, boys and girls on the internet, anytime you see this word equity, it means the opposite of equality. It means that some people, and those some people being definitely not you, get extra stuff and you get less stuff. That's what equity means. If you valued equality, you would say the government should serve all people equally. And that means we don't all get as much, but we all get the same bit of something, whatever that is, services. So equity just means extra racist. Yeah.
I'm not the main character, JJ. You mean I'm not going to get my way and I've got to share? I've got to share with you?
If I had my brothers, there would be no Office of Educational Technology or Department of Education.
Have you had
the state of Texas can cover education?
I've got to talk here in just a second, but have you had to I want to ask you a question. I'll say it.
All right.
The sharing concept was really hard when we had to go through that with the kids. Hang on just a second. Let me talk real quick.
Sure. Her account was put on private on Monday following a backlash to the comments. But not before the outlet took screenshots of her statements demeaning white people and claiming white supremacy had ties to American democracy, evangelical Christians, and fat phobia, which is a bias against fat people. She wrote, she probably wrote it, and the context was, democracy is also built on white supremacy, which I see perpetuated in education circles when BIPOC folks, FOLX. Fire this woman right now. If you write FOLX for folks, fire whoever this dumb hoe is. Fire this woman. She's supposed to be teaching. She works with the Department of Education, folks.
This dumb hoe. You dumb hoe.
I call for her resignation immediately. Or his, I don't know what it is. But when BIPOC folks are being told they're too negative by addressing real issues instead of superlatives, Ishmael replied, "Amen to that," and then claimed the evangelical church welcomed hate and white supremacy. Approximately 25 to 30% of Americans identify as evangelical Christians. Ishmael claimed she walked away from the discussion because a white male dominated the conversation, and in another case said that she was tuning out voices from white people. Okay, so we have an overt racist and bigot working for the Department of Education, and I guess in defiance of education, intends on spelling shitty-ass words, shitty-ass ways.
What color is this dumb bitch?
I'm not even sure what her name is.
What color is she?
I mean, if this is the picture, then I'm going to say pink and full of rage and hate. And she also has crazy predator eyes. Look, let me zoom in here. Can I zoom in?
Yeah.
Maybe if I do this. Does this work? Come on. Look. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Computer, enhance. Look at that. Look at this. This is the smile that doesn't really touch your eyes. This is squinching right here, squinching at the nose. This is the person that hates people.
That really is a smile of someone that's
a psychopath.
For a kid, you would say that's ornery. You're being in the South, you'd say you're being ornery, but really you're being a little asshole. That's a mischievous, I'm going to be an asshole, I'm going to get my way, and you're going to pay type of smile is what that is.
I mean, she looks white to me. So I think what she's really saying is that that rather than white people, she's saying that she is full of hatred and that she is a white supremacist. I think that's what
white people are bad, JJ. God, when are you going to realize this?
Right. I mean, okay. I'm not going to read all the rest of this. I think we get the point. We have a psychopath. We have a psychopath employed by the Department of Education, which is probably full of other psychopaths, to be honest. All right. Let me pull this down for a minute while I find your other story.
She does have unusually colored hair, though.
Super red. Super red.
Ronald McDonald red is what I like to call that.
Yeah, that definitely looks fake. But at least it's not purple.
That's not even Walmart red. We used to call it like Walmart red is what I would say. What color is that girl's hair? Oh, it's Walmart red. It's red, but it's not real red. It's Walmart red.
I think you take that picture to Sally's and say, Sally's, can I get this color? And they're going to be like, don't think we can do that. That's too far.
But if you take that to the Crayola store, you'll be able to find that color.
Yeah.
Right on the wall. Hey, look, right here it is.
Let me match this.
All right. I had another. Yeah. Did you?
I got your tobacco one here.
That one was crazy that I came across. I was like, oh, we can just like mention that.
Yeah.
That was a little weird.
I'm gonna start off with Deacon. I am suspicious of your motivations for the story.
I just found
here we go.
No, I just found it weird because of the technology and stuff. You know.
This is from newscientist.com, which is NewsGuard certified. Researchers have produced the entire biochemical pathway for how coca plants make cocaine in another plant, which could help people manufacture the drug for scientific study. Genetically modified tobacco plant produces cocaine in its leaves. The complex biochemistry that sees coca plants make cocaine has been unpicked and replicated in the relative of the tobacco plant. Recreating the process by modifying other plants or microorganisms could lead to a way to manufacture the stimulant or produce chemically similar compounds with unique properties.
What if they were able to do this now and grow this specific tobacco plant in other places that the coca plant doesn't normally grow in other climates? Namely ours.
Okay.
And you were able to create a new drug. What if this creates a new drug? The drug could help or hinder. I was just fascinated by, this is where the technology is going. And of course, this is where it's going. It's just one aspect that I hadn't really thought about. When I came across that, I was like, that's just really yikes. For the technology, yikers.
I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not super on top. I just don't. Genetically engineered everything. It's just like,
most everything is genetically modified anymore.
Oh, I know.
Most everything is. When people are like, I stay away from GMOs. It's like, no, you don't. You say you do, but you don't.
We got genetically modified tomatoes and genetically modified grapes.
Just because it's genetically modified, I was one of the big I hate GMOs for a long time. Just because it's genetically modified doesn't mean that it's bad. It means that on a molecular level, we've done something to it to help it. And genetically modified might be that we kept it from getting a specific disease that was wiping out these tomatoes. You know, it doesn't mean that it's bad.
Well,
it just means that we've done something to it.
It's one thing if it's like, if they do it by like, oh, we're just going to breed these two species or these two strains together, and they're not like picking apart the DNA or whatever, but if they're just like breeding these two plants together to make this new plant, that's one thing. And that's, like if they're like going into the lab and picking apart DNA and then sewing it back together or whatever.
And they do that too. You know, they do that too, where they're like, okay, I want this, you know, these specific bugs are eating the hell out of this. You know, they try to modify them that way and whatnot. I mean, I understand that, but they do the crossbreeding, like you said, and that's specifically genetic. I mean, that's technically genetically modified.
I think we talked about, didn't we talk about the chickens before? It was probably a month or two ago. We talked about the genetically modified chickens on the show, where back in the 1920s or 30s, they had a chicken would weigh like 3.5 pounds, like normal chickens. Chickens on their farm, they weigh like 3.5 pounds. And then Tyson or one of these companies was like, hey, what kind of fatter chicken would you like? This kind or that kind or this kind? And people did a poll. And then they started breeding chickens to become like way fatter.
Giving them the steroids and stuff.
Yeah.
And
now all of our chickens that we breed are like these super big, fat, plump, yellow. Like
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something else that that is a concern with some people about that specific thing with the chickens and putting the modifications into the chickens to make their breasts larger because we eat the chicken breasts. Our girls are eating this chicken, and those steroids, they're saying, are also affecting our younger women, our younger girls, and making them develop faster.
Really? See, this is the thing. Okay.
And I only know this because I'm the father of 3 girls.
These are the kind of unforeseen consequences of dabbling with genetic engineering of any kind, is that you don't know what the downstream effects are. And by the time you find out, you're already gonna have a product in place, and you're not going to walk it back. You're going to lie to protect your product. You're going to, hey, we don't know what could cause it. We don't know if it's plastic, microplastics in the bottles that are causing people to whatever. But you know, the objective things that you can see are, obviously people have way more mental health issues than they have had in the past. We got people chopping off their own, you know, parts. Or
a lot more autism, a lot more diagnoses of autism.
Way more. We have way more cases of, we have way less reproductive rate worldwide. We talked about like semen or fertility. I think we talked about this last week. It's down like 62% across the entire world. The U.S. population has been declining. Does not have a sustainable population for 50 years. So, and how much of that is because, oh, we're just going to make these 2 chickens, you know, make into a super fat chicken, or we're going to like grow this genetically modified tomatoes and corn or whatever. We don't know what the downstream effects are. The farther we get from natural productivity, and I'm not a super advocate of like organic green stuff. I'm just saying, can we be like way more careful about things? I guess not. Oh my gosh. Here's my showstopper.
I'm hoping that maybe their future, we teach them, and then they are the ones that change things for their children. All right. We have the ones in our mind. Our generation is, man, this is dumb. We have to change this. Our parents have been doing this for a long time.
Deacon's waving at you. So,
and so maybe they are the ones, we teach them, you know, my children understand now about some of the things, you know, and they will be the ones to change things. You know, we have to teach them.
So I just want to hit this last story real quick, and then we have to go. We're out of time. I saw this last night. I thought this was super crazy and interesting.
Look, Do Good is right, and he lives in Germany. Okay, and this is exactly right. This is not just an American problem. It's just a matter of price.
No, Mom's downstairs.
Yeah, it's a matter of price.
And
yeah.
It would make us
How much are you willing to? And it's not. And it's not. Look, I'm not saying go buy foods at Whole Foods. I'm saying maybe start a garden.
When people are starving to death, and this mother's starving to death, and she's got to feed her kids, and she's got $10, and she can buy 5 cheeseburgers from McDonald's, or she can buy a salad.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, they make McDonald's or whatever cheap enough that it becomes like the food that most people buy, and especially people living in high density urban environments. Like, you can't grow your own food easily there. No. So you know, I don't know. Like, long term, we have to come up with a more distributed population style that doesn't rely on heavy cities and does allow people the opportunities to homestead a little bit, grow some of your food, and then you can buy the things you need elsewhere. But like, as a human being, you need to be able to provide some of your own food yourself. And I don't even do that. So
yeah.
Well, what does he say? Organic is only more expensive because corporate farms that produce GMO food are able to undercut it with massive production techniques. Well, you have cost savings from scales cost savings. Yeah. They obviously can grow and produce cheaper than you can, because they can amortize their extreme costs against extreme product and then distribution.
We have a little area right before you come into the house that's where some monkey grass and some flowers and stuff like that have been growing over the years before we got there. And I was telling them the other day that I'd like to pull it all up and plant some mint and different types of stuff that if we're cooking, we could just walk out the door and grab a little sage, rosemary or sage or something like that. I've got some peppermint growing there beside it right now. Peppermint grows all over my brother's property, so I picked some and put it out there to try to keep the mosquitoes away. But yeah, I really thought about, why don't I try to grow some tomatoes and stuff like this right here instead of these flowers?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Flowers are just pretty, but couldn't we grow things? And you know, it takes so much for every body to be able to produce a little bit. You have to know what kind of foods can you produce on your soil, in your climate, with your, whatever. So I mean, it takes a lot. And people don't have much time, because now we have to have 2 incomes for every household. And then,
yeah, you're right about, I mean, research, you can usually find places. We've got a little farm center and these people know exactly what can grow good in your climate and what can't, because you're in Texas, I'm in Kentucky, 2 different climate zones. All right. So guess what I found out?
Kinds of soil.
Yes, types of soil. So we are very humid, like very jungle-esque climate, very humid here in Kentucky with the water and the forest and everything. So I never thought about this before, but guess what? My next door neighbor over here, which is an old man, is my old history teacher, come down, and he always grows one every year over here. He says, guess what? Kentucky is perfect climate to grow pineapples.
Really?
I was like, for real? He was like,
you don't need to eat pineapples though, Deacon.
Why is that?
Because you're diabetic, and it's
I know
tons of sugar.
They're nothing but sugar, but you can grow pineapples. I thought about growing one pineapple, fresh pineapple. I've had fresh pineapple one time from the Dole plantation in Hawaii, and oh my God,
I used to grow cucumbers, and they were so good. And it was I just poured water all the time. That's all they did, and the things became huge, and they were delicious. They were more flavorful than what you buy at the store. That's the thing about produce you get from the store that you don't understand. Is that it looks good, and you get the same kind of product all the time, but it doesn't have the flavor. It really doesn't. So
you need to get a like next year, the girls are the perfect age because they are about the age that my girls were when we started doing the garden, and we got them a specific little place that was theirs, and we got them a cherry tomato that grew the little bitty tomatoes.
Yeah.
Had them go and water it, and then they would go and get to pick the tomatoes.
I think that's a great idea, to be honest.
Yeah. Y'all need to do that.
I need, let's see, we're coming up on winter. Maybe if I get some materials, I can create a box and make a little garden box. We did a garden 4 or 5 years ago, and we had a flood and it washed out what I had. So maybe if I build a garden box.
You can do some winter plants too. We used to grow a lot of kale, because we used to juice, and that kale was a big part of it. I think broccoli may be a cabbage.
I'll be done. Let me get done and I'll come see you.
Cabbage, broccoli. I think those are winter plants.
Well, I don't have time yet. So, I mean, I'm thinking if I have a couple months to get ready, and we can have the spring planting and the girls can go out there and stuff like that.
It is shorts.
Yes, I'm wearing shorts. You're not supposed to tell people. Everybody's supposed to think that I'm fully dressed on clothes. I got outed. Okay. I was going to tell you about this airplane that crashed into an electrical tower. It looks crazy, but I think we're going to just. Yeah, we'll maybe talk about it tomorrow. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Please hit like and subscribe. Thank you twice as much if you watched on rumble.com/JJW, which is obviously a better platform. And if you haven't already, please. That's my initials. Please hit the Rumble button and leave a comment. Whichever platform, leave a comment and help us trick the rest of the internet into thinking that this is a popular show that people need. I'll tell you in a minute. All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. That's the thing.